Good afternoon. I'm just getting back from Jamaica. This is like my first day back. I was able to sleep in. I woke up at like 11:30. Much needed after my travel day basically yesterday. I left Montego Bay at I think like 9 o'clock in the morning. I think my flight was at 9:13, but I was already up since like 4 o'clock because I had to be to the airport by 5:50 and I still had to pack some things. But I'm home. Like, it was a long travel day yesterday. I got into DCA like at 9 o'clock last night. So yeah, it was a full travel day. It feels good to be home. I do miss Montego Bay though. I could have stayed a few more days. I didn't get to do everything I wanted to, but it's like overall it was a great trip. I'm like starting to plan my next trip there in my head. Now I got my parents like, oh, I want to go and everything. So I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all interested in going? I was initially planning to do Jamaica Carnival this year because it fell around my birthday. And I've done Trinidad and Barbados Carnival. So I was like, I'm trying to see what's up in Jamaica. But then my friend, she was saying that she wanted to go for her birthday, her 30th birthday. With it being my first time in Jamaica, because I wanted to jump and be a part of the band and everything. So when she said that she was planning, I was like, you know what? I want to experience Jamaica and I do want to visit. So I was like, I'll go for your birthday. So I'm glad I made that decision and was able to support her and celebrate her birthday with her. So now I'm getting here, just getting into the groove of things again. I have my breakfast downstairs cooking or getting ready. Yeah, just to have something because I'm like, I didn't eat last night. So now I'm a little hungry, a little tired. Like, you know, when you haven't had your food or anything, you still feel a little weak. So that's how I'm feeling right now. I need to eat something. And so I have that going, my laundry. I came home yesterday and you know my 3 packages that I had ordered came in, right? So all that time and I super overpacked. But I didn't have my stuff, so I was just like, I don't know what I'm bringing for real. But we're gonna throw it in here and see if it works because the outfits I figured would really work that I ordered, it wasn't here in time. I had to do what I had to do. I had 3 suitcases. It was a lot, but 3 suitcases, 6 days, 5 nights, but hey, I was prepared, okay? I'm trying to think what else. I guess I'm just gonna do like a recap while everything is still fresh and I can, you know, really remember things about the trip or details about the trip. I'll do a quick recap. I'll show like what I purchased for souvenirs, and I think that's about to be this video. So if you haven't seen the initial video, the Jamaica video, go check that out. And here I am talking, and I always forget to introduce myself. Hey, my name is Danny. I make videos for travel, lifestyle, and career. If that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And yeah, just to get to know me more. I'm going to go ahead and get my stuff so I can take it downstairs and put on the table because then it's just kind of like spread out, and kind of also just talk about, like I said, the trip overall, little things so that if you're going to Jamaica or Montego Bay specifically, some things that you can just be aware of, to look out for. And my battery's about to die, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to hit you guys back. And when I say that, I just mean like just little things that would help along the way in a sense. Okay, I'm gonna let this charge a little bit and then I'll be back. I'll do the recap, so I'll talk to you in a few. I'm downstairs. The souvenirs, one thing about it, I come back from vacation, I'm dehydrated, I'm parched. Okay, all right. You just put some of this, ooh, gotta be careful. I think I got fragile things in there. Give me a second. Like I said, I am so dehydrated. I didn't get like any water yesterday, because like all the flying. I had a layover in Fort Lauderdale for like 5 hours. So, and I don't know, it's just something about having to pay like $8. Maybe not that much, but like $6 for water? That's crazy. Oh. I'm about to re-up on all my water. Okay, so I just need things in arm's reach. So I'm gonna go over Jamaica and the experience, a recap, you know, about how much like the cost, things like that. I flew into Montego Bay on May 29th. I had a layover. I flew JetBlue, and I had a layover. Oh my gosh, I'm blinking. It was so early. Okay, my flight was at, I think, 5 on that Thursday on the 29th. And then I know I had a layover, but I just can't remember where I was. I think it might have been Miami. I should know this, right? Oh, I was so tired. But I was literally, it was 45. I think it was Miami. I think it was like a 45-minute in between layover by the time it was time for us to board the next flight. So I'm thinking it was Miami. I don't think I landed in Charlotte, and I don't think it was Atlanta. I think it was Miami. So we flew into Miami, then right after took Miami to Montego Bay. And the flight was smooth. I didn't really have any issues. Oh, I flew on American, but when I returned, I was on JetBlue. Her birthday vacation was Montego Bay. It was May 29th to June 3rd. So when I flew into Montego Bay, I had to wait about like 2 hours for my friend to fly, my friend Candace. We traveled through Be Ready to Travel. That's B, literally the letter B, then Ready to Travel. And the birthday girl, she had already like set things up because she paid first. I think she was back in January saying that she was gonna go. So she had already paid her stuff through Be Ready to Travel, and that's who we submitted all our stuff through as well. I think we had to do a deposit, like $200, and then the rest was due by April 29th, I believe. So it was like a month before it was time for us to leave. So I was waiting for my friend Candace for about 2 hours because the travel agent, she had asked like, oh, do you want to wait for Mochi? Momo. He would wait until I'm getting ready to make a video to be like scratching and doing all this stuff in his little playpen. So she was like, do you want to just wait at the airport for her? Because she scheduled our shuttle through Nexus. And so at the time I was like, yeah, I don't have a problem. I'll just wait for Candace at the airport because she was saying she would have to schedule 2 separate shuttle rides. So I was just thinking like it was going to be like somebody driving like a private car, not a private car, but just, yeah, basically a private vehicle, whatever, and coming to get us. So I was just like, you know what, I don't have a problem with waiting. No, like I just didn't want the person to have to go back and forth. So I was like, I can just wait for her because I think it was like 2 hours. And I was like, you know, I can go grab some food or something at the airport. And that was my thought process. But when I got there, they didn't have like really anywhere you can go and sit. Like, you know, when you get ready to depart the airport and they have like all the food places and things like that. Well, when you arrive in Montego Bay, you don't really have that. You have like your customs area, you have your luggage area. And then once you leave that area, you go into the arrivals, like where it's just like a big lobby where everyone is like waiting for taxis and things like that. And they have like a couple of places like Bombay Lounge and stuff, but you have to have like be a member, and or Bombay Club or something, and you have to like be a member. So I was just like standing around for like 2 hours. So long story short, it's really a bus that was the shuttle, the transportation. Because if I knew that, I would have just been like, Candace, I'll see you at the hotel. Because by the time I got there, it was like 9:30, and I believe she arrived at 11:30. So even though I wouldn't have been able to check into a room or anything like that, I would have just been at the pool, you know, just lounging, chilling, actually reading my book that I brought because, you know, I was like, if I have downtime, I'll just go ahead and like read and stuff like that. I only finished my Milk and Honey poetry book, and that's just because I only had a few pages and it's poetry, so you can kind of get through quickly. So that's the only book I've finished that I brought. Anyway, if I would have known that, I definitely would have just said to the travel agent, I would have been like, you know, schedule me for a trip to the hotel, and then I'll just let her know where I am, which pool I'm at, and da 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 da. The airport ride was only 10 minutes from the actual resort. Yeah, so we had it through Nexus. The agents and everybody at Nexus was very organized, very punctual, so I didn't have any issues with that. We stayed at the Rio Palace. It was an all-inclusive, adult-only resort, which is so important because one thing about it, Mochi, is that necessary, babe? I'm like, I don't even know if I should make this video here because it's going to be all that ruffling of the plastic in the back. I'm going to send them outside. Give me a second. Okay, so I hope that doesn't sound like too much in the background. But that was becoming too much. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, we stayed at the Rio Palace. Adult only, all-inclusive. We stayed 5 nights, 6 days. And my total for the 5 nights, 6 days was $1,300. My flight round trip, again, I flew American and then I returned on JetBlue. And so like round trip total was like $550. Another suggestion that I would say when it comes to purchasing alcohol, you know, you go into all-inclusive resort. Yes, and I know some people are like, there's no point in me like purchasing my alcohol from one all-inclusive resort, yada yada yada. But I would say just get your alcohol from the duty-free before you leave the airport, because something I noticed while I was there, I was just like, so we were going, of course, and you know, going to the bar, the swim up pool or the swim up bar, things like that, and we're just drinking, and I was like not feeling buzzed or anything like that. And I was just like, okay, I'm starting to get a headache and everything because it was a lot of sugary drinks. Like, you know, when you ask for a margarita or something, it's, I don't know, it's hard sometimes to get like a really good margarita because people use a lot of the premix stuff and everything. So it's just like really sugary. I don't even do like the mango and strawberry because it's like sometimes just too sweet. So that was kind of what was happening. It wasn't until maybe like the 3rd day when we actually started drinking some of the Casamigos and mixing it like with our Sprite and stuff. And I was like, off of like 2 drinks, I was like, okay, like I'm feeling the buzz. But here I am, I'm like drinking at the bars and everything. And I was just like, you know, you hear the stories about, you know, alcohol tainted at the resorts or watered down. And I was like, oh, you know, not saying, but I'm like, okay, here I am drinking my Casamigos from the airport at the duty free, and here I am drinking alcohol at the resort, and for like 3 days straight of me drinking, I'm not feeling no buzz, like no nothing, just a headache because of the sugar in these pre-mixed drinks. So I'm getting all bloated and all that stuff for no reason, like all these empty calories for no reason. Like I don't have to drink or need to drink or anything like that, but I don't like feeling like I'm being bamboozled. Like if I'm gonna be drinking, I don't want like a placebo effect, like you think, oh yeah, like no, like. So from like now on, I think that's just what I'm going to do, because even I didn't touch the alcohol in the room that was in our little mini bar thing, because even that I was just like, I don't know. I just went ahead and had the Casamigos and called it a day. So just a little heads up or tidbit when it comes to that. Like, what do they do with the alcohol at these resorts and everything? Because I'm like, there's no way that I was drinking what I was drinking and I was literally not feeling anything. And I'm medium weight. Like, I'm not a lightweight, and it doesn't, you know, but I was just like, all of this, and then you telling me like nothing? I'm like, there's something wrong with that. Since we had booked at Rio Palace, we had access to the other 3 hotels that were like combined at the resort. So it's Rio Palace is when we stayed at, then it was like Rio Reggae, and then Rio Montego Bay. And Rio Montego Bay was the largest one. Yeah, so Montego Bay was the largest one. It also had like, or it was my favorite. It always had something going on. Let's see. And oh yeah, the pool parties at Montego Bay, they were always better. Specifically the pool by the Roots Bar. Yeah, that one for sure. Let's just go over the food really quick. The food was decent. The best food I had at the resort was the curry chicken. The escovitch, the fish, the fried fish. That one was really good because they had like the peppers and onions and like jalapenos. Whatever they continued to cook it in, basically with the peppers and the jalapenos especially, it gave it like a nice sweet kick. So it tastes, yeah, really good. So it's the curry chicken, the escovitch, and they had that literally at like every meal. Well, the escovitch was pretty much at every meal, and I was tearing up the fish. And they had like curry chicken, they had stew chicken, but the curry chicken was always more flavored or more flavorful, that I noticed, than the stew chicken and the jerk chicken. Of course, like the rice and peas, the plantains, the steamed cabbage, always really good. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, the buffalo wings they had at the Montego Bay, the bar food. Yeah, the one, because that one was kind of like, I think they're one that was open 24/7-ish. And yeah, it was really good. Even though it was buffalo, it was more on the sweet side. And so that's the thing, like with their sauces too, it's a little different. Because when you think buffalo sauce, because when you think buffalo sauce, I know for me, I think Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything, that type vibe. But theirs is more like pepper sauce, and it just ranges in like spice. And then I also noticed it just has like sweetness to it, and even like their ketchup, it had like, to me the ketchup is definitely sweet, but it kind of gives like not as sweet as Chick-fil-A Polynesian sauce, but it also kind of tastes like mambo sauce ish, like, if that makes sense. So yeah. Oh, I also put here that Montego Bay also had the best food. Montego Bay, I wouldn't necessarily, I would stay at that one because I would want to have the access to the other 3 hotels like we did. So I would still stay at Palace if I go back. Yeah. Because I don't think Montego Bay and Reggae had access to ours, if that makes sense. Like for food and things like that. So that's what I'm saying. I would stay at Palace again. So I think those are the main things when it came to just little, tips and what I noticed while I was there. But I'll just go over a quick rundown of what we did. So day 1, Thursday, it was just Candace and myself. We got in and we checked in and chilled by the pool until our room was ready. We also went exploring to go check out the other hotels and just to see. So like I said, when we got there, we checked in the Palace. Palace was really nice. They had a bar. Well, all of them had bars and stuff when you go in, but it gave they always had jazz music playing. They had a little cafe towards the back part where it's they had the coffee and different cakes and things like that. So that one was just kind of a chill vibe area, lounge type of setting. And then you can walk outside and then it's nice and open, like a patio. And then you can go out towards the pool and the beach area. And so it's just really nice. And when you're leaving to go, or when you're walking towards the beach, they have the restaurants on the right hand side. And then you go a little further, you go to the pool, and then you go further than that, you're on the beach. So when you're on the beach, you can walk either to the left or to the right. And so I can't remember which direction because by that time I was just there. I was just okay. So either way, Palace is in the middle, Reggae is on one side, and Montego Bay is on the other side. Yeah, we were just exploring and also just waiting till our room became available. So that night we didn't go out, we didn't do anything. I didn't go to sleep the night before because my flight was at 5:50, I believe. And so I left home at 2 o'clock so I could get to the airport by 3. So then I could get through, because with international flights, you have to be there early. And for whatever reason, I thought DCA opened up at 3 a.m. But I think it's really 4 a.m. that the inside to do TSA and stuff is really open. So we didn't do anything that day. We just, after we checked in, we basically took our shower and then we went to bed. So that was the first night, or the first day. The second day, we ended up switching rooms because when we booked through the travel agent, we booked for double beds, but when we got there, they only had the king bed, of course. So we were like, you know, but that's what happens, I guess, when you don't book through the hotel and you book through a third party. So they kind of bumped us to having a king bed. So the second day we got up to like go and check out the room, and we were like, okay, yeah, like just put us in, you know, the other room because we asked for double beds. So we went to breakfast, we swapped rooms because I think we had to confirm by 11 o'clock that we wanted to leave the room, and then by noon we had to go ahead and switch rooms. We took care of that. We did that. So on Friday, which was our day too, that's when Denisha flew, or the birthday girl, she flew in. So once we got settled into our room, we were in there for the rest of the time. So we kind of unpacked again, getting settled in. Denisha flew in, and then that's when we like met her family, because I didn't know at the time, but her sister and brother-in-law were staying at Reggae. So we had a time. We were at the pool, and that's why I compared like the different pools and the different vibes and everything. As the pool parties and all that stuff went, to me, they had the best one, because we went to Rio Palace, and we went to Rio Reggae, and we went to Rio Montego Bay, and they had the best. We were there until like that evening. I'd probably say around 6 o'clock. That night she came in, she said that she wanted to like bring everybody together to start it off, you know, and they were having an all-white party at Rio Montego Bay. So we all got dressed and we went to Rio Montego Bay, did the white party. It was cool. It was like they brought it was everybody there. It was packed, but the DJ wasn't really reading the room. Like, guess you got to cater to everybody when it comes to the music and everything. Let me check on my dogs. Give me a second. Okay, they're okay. Just wanted to make sure they were a little quiet. What was I say? Oh, the DJ. You have to cater to everybody, and I would say that happened. Like he played like the different genres and stuff like that. But even once it was like they were kind of, when it was catering to a certain demographic, they were still just kind of like standing around. I feel like they were like getting more into it when they were playing like, what's it, Cool in the Game? Get Down on It. For some reason that song is popping in my head like it was playing. And then and Before I Let Go, like vibing to that, like doing the electric slide. It seemed more interactive. So once they shifted to the different demographics, it kind of calmed down. And so then that's when we were like, okay. So we ended up leaving, and that's when, you know, the people were like, oh, trying to ask us like, where you going, where you going, where you going? And they were like, oh, the vibe is be at Pier 1 Montego Bay tonight. So that's what ended up happening. We ended up going to Pier 1. It was also packed. It was on the water. It was real cool. Like as far as like temperature wise, it was just like nice breeze and everything. Basically everybody that was at the white party that, you know, looked like me went there. It was, you know, a time. I enjoyed it. The DJ, the music, it was good. He played a lot of course, dance hall, but I feel like they were definitely trying to cater to American music in a sense, or whatever, however you want to describe it. And I mean, it's cool, but you know, I like a lot of dance hall and reggae music, and you know, throw in soca and all that stuff. So, you know, I just like when you go to different countries, especially the Caribbean, it's like that's more so the vibe that I want to hear. It was a lot of Dreams and Nightmare. Like getting like that song was played the whole time. So I think that's when they think of Americans, I think that's what they automatically go to. Is like, yeah, I'm gonna put this Meek Mill Dreams and Nightmare on, and they're gonna have, and I mean, yeah, people were definitely vibing to it for sure. So getting to Pier 1, we had Mr. Allen as our driver. He was basically our driver like the whole time. we were there. He reminded me of Wood Harris, like Wood Harris, yeah, that's the name. Yeah, Wood Harris, the actor from Forever, like the dad, to the T. Like every time I was like, I want him. Like I'm like texting Mr. Allen. I'm like, all right, can we go here? He's like, I got you. He was always punctual, just really professional. Whenever I'm in, or if I can ever get back to Montego Bay, it's definitely going to be Mr. Allen for me. So I told him, he was like, yeah, just let me know a week in advance. He's like, I'll be your driver and everything. And so I was like, bet. So if you're staying at the Rio, I know specifically at Palace because that's the one we were staying at, and he was there. So Mr. Allen. Day 3, which was Saturday. Me just kind of look over again. We had lunch and met up with the family. We took pics on the beach. And that was the day she wanted to wear like all black for Death to Her 20. So we wore the all black swimsuit. That night we tried to go to Lounge 2727, but it was so packed at 2727. Like it's like a courtyard area, and then they had the actual club, two to 3 story building, and you could see like people up on the side because it was like a balcony-ish, and it was packed, and we couldn't even get in the courtyard. We basically like stood in the courtyard and turned around and went out. So on that strip, they had a couple of other bars, and then we just walked to Margaritaville. So that's where we brought in her birthday. So we went to Margaritaville. Margaritaville was good. Again, I feel like the music is like the same thing being cycled through. So I can't really say like which one had the better, I don't know. It was kind of the same. And it was like and it was also just the same people. So it was just kind of, yeah. So it was the same vibe, same people. So it was cool, you know. Then day 4 came, Sunday. And so again, it was the same thing, kind of just like, oh, we're up. And then that's when I realized, for me, I'm definitely more of an excursion girl. I had that realization. I'm like, okay, well, what's next? You know, I would say a good 75 to 80% excursion girl, and then a good 20 to 25 resort, especially when it's my first time to somewhere. When it's my first time there, I'm like, yeah, like, what's next? What are we doing? You know, I'm ready. So I was there for 5 nights, 6 days. Out of those 5 nights, 6 days, I feel at least 2 days should have been my excursion days. And I only had 1. So that's why, yeah, I'm only a good 20-25%. Give me the pool, the beach. You can find me there. Only 20 to 25%. The rest, I'm trying to be outside. I'm trying to be on the go. And I'll just take an extra day or 2 when I get home as my recovery days. I'm not trying to sleep on vacation or just lounge by the pool. So, okay, I put, because I can't remember, my days were running together at that point because it was like real monotonous with just wake up, go to the pool, yeah, go back to the room, shower, go out for the night, get up. I'm losing track of the days, kind of. But at some point between day 3 and 4, we went to KFC, which was across the street, and the souvenir shop, which was across the street as well. We bought souvenirs. I also went to Scotia Bank, which was across the street, to withdraw money because they didn't have an ATM or anything on the resort. So you had to go across the street, which was probably like a 5-minute walk. The KFC, yes, in the Caribbean is definitely better. I had KFC in Trinidad, Barbados, and then Jamaica. Definitely, it's fresh. It doesn't taste as processed. It tastes like fried chicken. Like you're just going to literally fry the chicken, put in the batter, put the flour over it, and fry it. That's literally what it tastes like. KFC in the States, definitely more processed. So after we did all that, we were supposed to, as a group, go out again for the 3rd time, but that didn't end up happening because everybody ended up, you know, falling asleep. And I mean, Candace and I fell asleep, but we ended up getting up. So we went to Lounge 2727, and 2727 was also nice because they were also on the water. It wasn't as much like on the water as Pier 1, but it also had like a little area where you So like once you get into the courtyard area and you kind of go up the stairs and then to the dance floor, and then you can go like down the stairs, and then it's like this little section where you can go down basically on the water. And so we were chilling and vibing out there. We came back because we had agreed to get up early because we were supposed to go to the excursions, I think at like 8 o'clock. Yeah, I think it was 8 o'clock we said we would get up and go. So Candace and I got up, we were ready. We went downstairs, we were there at 8 o'clock to meet with you know, I think this time she had a different driver. It was Mr. Green. So there was nobody there. So Candace ended up going to breakfast, and then she ran into Denisha there. And it was just like, okay, so what are we doing? This is the last day for real. So what's the move? I think she ended up finding out, or then I think she ended up confirming, and then we went to, and then she ended up confirming, and then we left at like maybe 10:30 to go ATV and bamboo rafting. The ATV, so that was our day of excursions, the 5th day. That was that Monday. We did ATV in Montego Bay with Orlando, not Orlando, it was Orlando, like Olando. It was definitely a vibe. It was a workout because it wasn't just, you know, like when you're doing it on the sand. It was, for one, like on the rocks. It was going around a lot of, we're in the jungle basically, and twists and turns, going downhill, going uphill on these big old rocks and things. And so you're like on the ATV, you like trying to hold yourself, and like you're going down, you're not trying to go down too fast, and you're trying to brace yourself. So I felt like I had a workout, okay, on that day doing the ATVs. I think it was probably an hour and some change of the actual ride, and we were able to stop and take pictures, and you know, he had breaks in between that people could rest because it was a lot. Like with your helmet on especially, and my lens thing wouldn't stay up, so it kept flapping down. So I was like, I'm hot, like I'm all sweaty and everything. But yeah, overall I would say I would definitely go back and do it again. And then we had the bamboo rafting. The bamboo rafting was so relaxing. I was like, it was just peaceful, you know, just being out there again, like in the jungle, and all this lush greenery and on the river, and it was just really nice. And I had twin, I think his real name's, and I think his real name is Kayami. But he was great. Got the limestone. It looks like clay, but it's not. It's limestone. And Candace, she had got bit by mosquitoes and was like really like, oh my gosh, like I'm so itchy and everything like that. But she said after she got the limestone, she said she didn't feel like any of the itchiness. And that's supposed to help, he said, with if you have like eczema, psoriasis, like skin conditions and things. And you can buy the limestone from them because they don't sell it, you know, at the souvenir shops or anything. So you can buy from them. And they also were like selling coconuts out there. They had like mangoes, you know, it was like really a time. Really nice. When we came back from the excursions, we went to Juicy Patty that day too. And I got my chicken patties because they didn't have them at the resort like that. They had like beef and vegetable ones, and they looked a little dry. So I was like, I want the real deal. So I went to Juicy Patty, and Juicy Patty was across the street in the same shopping center as the KFC. So I got my Juicy Patties, and then came back, got our stuff together, and basically went to the silent party that they had. And that was like the last night with all of us there together. And like I said, the resort itself, they had a lot of things to do, a lot of activities. So if you are a resort person, it's like I could just stay on the resort the whole time and just float to the different hotels at the resort, you'll definitely have a good time. Like you will. because like I said, they have a lot going on. They had like karaoke, they had silent, they had a silent party. They had the white party. I think the week before they said they had a neon party, like the Friday night they had a neon party. And then they have a Tasha bar. I think it's called Tasha or Tasha Lounge, which is like the club that they have there at the resort. So they also had that. We didn't make it to that one because we just ended up, you know, going off the resort to the different clubs and lounges and stuff. So by the time we came back from the silent party, I went ahead and just packed and started getting my stuff together because I had to be up at least by like 4:50 so that I could get to the airport because my shuttle was leaving at 5:50. So yeah, after the silent party, I came back, I packed, took a shower, took a quick nap, got back up, and then it was day 6, and then it was time for me to go. So I left at 5:50. My flight was at 9:13, and there we go. I made it through checking my bags and everything like that probably within 20 or 30 minutes. Customs probably took, or TSA area probably took like 5 minutes. When I came back, I stopped in Fort Lauderdale. I really think I'm going to get the global entry, whatever it is, because I don't like the feeling of feeling like I'm a criminal. Because the way I got questioned when I came back and had to stop in Montego, or not Montego Bay, in Fort Lauderdale, I go through customs and there's no line or really anything like that. But the customs agent is literally asking me, and this is no exaggeration, 10 questions. I didn't get pulled into a room. I got pulled into a room when I came back from Tulum though. And I was flying through BWI. And all the other people were walking through, no problem, weren't getting pulled. But I got pulled into an interrogation room to get questioned about what I was doing. So I'm going through custom questions like, where did you come from? What were you doing down there? What do you do for work? And it's like, oh, what's in your suitcases? I'm just like, I'm coming back from Montego Bay for my friend's 30th birthday. Like, and what do you do? And I'm just like, why am I getting... So I'm going through the customs part. Made it through customs, get to the TSA part. So the TSA agent is also like, well, what's your name? What's in your bag? And I'm just like, I tell him my name and I'm like, but you have my passport. Like, you know, it's like, you think I'm a different person. Like, oh, they gave me a fake passport so that I can get up here and like, what do you think I'm doing? Smuggle it? Like... And I told the TSA agent, I'm like, I just have coffee and sugar in my bag. Like, you want me to say what? I got like 5 bottles of white Hennessy? Is that what you're expecting me to say? Like, trying to stereotype. So it just gives real prejudice and it sucks. So I really think I'm just going to go ahead and get the global entry. I don't know if it's called global entry passport or whatever, but just so I can avoid that. Because there were other people like on the flight and it was a quick thing for them and they were going through. I was literally like standing there for like 3 minutes getting questioned. And I'm just like, because I'm seeing the other people because I took off my stuff and I had to get everything on the carts and stuff like that so I could take it through and everything. And I see everybody else going through like a quick process. They're just looking at the passport and looking at them and, you know, like, all right, go ahead through. And I'm like, here I am. I'm getting interrogated, standing here for like I said, like a good 3 minutes. Then, didn't make it through TSA all the way. That was just the TSA agent. So at first was customs, then it was a TSA agent, and then I had to go through the little thing and take off the shoes and all that stuff like that. So my carry-on didn't get checked. My purse didn't get checked, but they want to wipe my shoes. Like, do you honestly think if I was somewhere that was going to criminalize me, I'd be wearing them through the airport? Like, look. It's crazy. Propaganda I'm not falling for black women anyway. So, overall, my trip to Jamaica, I get the hype. I definitely get it. Like I said, I can't wait to go back. to Jamaica, and there's so much more that I want to do. I want to do the Dun River Falls. Mr. Allen, he was like, he was going to take us to the Blue Hole. I think that's what it's called. We could have done horseback. That was something we're supposed to do. We're supposed to do the horseback riding, and I think it was supposed to be the white or the bamboo rafting on one day. And then the second day we're supposed to do, I think it was ATV and Dun River Falls, then Ocho Rios. But we didn't get a chance to do that. We just went Montego Bay. So I get it. And it's funny because like people always talk about, oh, you know, Jamaican people always, you know, always doing the most with repping that they're from Jamaica and stuff. But it's like, I get it. Jamaica's that girl, so and she knows it. So I definitely understand and get the hype. And just to be somewhere, it was just nice being able to see black people just being black people, if that makes sense. And that goes as far as like the tourists, the people that are Jamaican. And it was a lot of couples, it was a lot of vacations, a lot of anniversaries, a lot of big group trips for black people, as far as it looks like, and I wouldn't say reunions, but large link ups, especially for, I would say, the 40 plus year old crowd. Like, it's like, oh, we know y'all already got y'all trip planned for next year too. You know, this is y'all trip for this year, but we already know your next trip for next year. Your group trip is already booked, paid, and everything like that. You know, you got your flight. This is y'all annual thing, and this year y'all just in Montego Bay. So it was just nice to be able to see like black people thriving and just being able to enjoy, take time off, celebrate their love, things like that. So then that was just for the resort itself. And then, like I said, going off the resort, just experiencing the vibes and things like that. But next time I definitely want to go to other cities in Jamaica. But let me see if my dogs, make sure they're okay, because they're quiet again. Give me a second. I got my mom. My mom's a baker. I'll go ahead and plug Sweet J's Cupcakes and Desserts. So got her some sugar. Every time I go to the Caribbean, I try and bring back sugar and vanilla for her, especially the vanilla, because the vanilla so flavorful. It's not letting me open it, and I don't want to actually open the plastic bag that it's in. But I got her some sugar. I also got my mom this coffee mug. I don't know how much this costs. I do know the sugar cost $4. So then I was like, you know what? Let me just get 2 of these. So I got her that. My mom and I also already got into this. This is my first day here. First day back. And I'm already drinking, yeah, the K-Cup. This is also really good. It doesn't taste artificial like sometimes the coffee that you can get. I don't know. Sometimes it can taste a little artificial. This really good. So I also got my mom this. I got my great aunt this cup, or this mug. She's a tea drinker, and so she really likes having like nice coffee mugs and things like that. So I just went ahead and got this for her. But I got my brother and I matching bucket hats. Kind of. Well, it's kind of, I say matching-ish. Like, I really wanted these because look at this. Isn't this the cutest? Like, yeah. And this was at the souvenir shop by the Scotia Bank. That's in the same shopping center as the Burger King. And I was like, oh, I'm getting this for my brother and I. Because I'm like, yeah. So these were $25 each. And they didn't have these at the other ones. So I made a special trip back because I knew that I especially wanted one. But yeah. Got a matching-ish one. Got fraternal twin hats. Or bucket hats. I got this for my dad. So, yeah. My dad's bald, so I got him this Rasta hat, I guess. Yeah, Shaba. Like, okay. Anyway. So I got him that. I also got my dad this shirt. It says Jamaica on it. One love. My best friend Will, he was like, every time you go somewhere, just make sure you bring back a keychain. I got him like a bottle cap opener one. So it says Jamaica, and I think it says One Love. Yeah, it says One Love on it as well. So got him that. And then I also got my brother these. He really likes, you know, the beads and everything. So got them that. Okay, I got these from my mom. So my mom really likes like the earrings like this. I hear them barking. I'm like, what y'all doing out here? I think they're just chasing each other. Give me a second. I got my mom this as well. This was like 3 for $25, the earrings. And the elephant earrings, that's my mom's favorite. Between elephants and giraffes, those are her too. I did notice, you know, like sometimes when you go places, it's like, oh, you're spending this amount of money, but it's a lot cheaper in that country than it is in the US. However, in Jamaica, $25 in Jamaica is the same as $25 in the US. So you spending, yeah. You're not saving money there. So I got this One Love Jamaica towel, beach towel. So yeah, it's not super thick or anything like that, but I think it's just a nice beach towel just to have. So I got 2 beach towels. Yep. Oh, and this is the Bob Marley one. And that was the other thing I wanted to do. I went all the way to Jamaica and didn't do the Bob Marley Museum. And then, respect. So, yeah. Got the Bob Marley towel. I really wanted to do that. Was to go to the Bob Marley Museum. But like I said, I gotta go back. The whole time I was there, I was like, I wonder if they're hiring nurses. Like, can I move here? Can I get a job working at the hotel or the resort as an esthetician? I have my license, you know. It's really nice. Oh, such a nice trip, nice visit, beautiful island, beautiful people. And last thing, I saved my money, or a couple dollars. I don't even know. Yeah, this is like a couple dollars. Got my $500. This converts to like $3.13 in American. And just some coins. If it'll focus, I don't know. Yeah. So that's my last little bit. And like I said, I like to collect currency when I come back from different places. So hold on to this. And you see, they have black women on here. So anyway, that's it. So again, if you have any questions, you can just put them down in the comments, and just make sure that you like and subscribe the video. And if you go to Montego Bay, I hope you enjoy. I hope you have an amazing time. I hope this gave you some insight about things to do when you go to Montego Bay. Again, Orlando for the ATV in Montego Bay. Twin, I think his name's Kiami. At the bamboo rafting, Mr. Allen. Yeah, those are the main things, main shout outs, I guess. So again, and let me know how your trip and experience was in Montego Bay. And then you can also give me some ideas for the next trip, because this isn't it. This isn't going to be my last trip to Jamaica. So I would love to be able to know what else. Again, even if I can make it out to Carnival 2026, I would love to be able to do that. So, you know, let a girl know what's up, you know, connections, things like that. So anyway, hope you enjoy. Like I said, subscribe so that the next video you can check out. And just, you know, welcome to the dreamers. You know, welcome to the vibes and all that other stuff. So again, thank you for watching.